You are live. You're alive. Congratulations, you're alive. You're still alive. Hey, hello everybody. I'm Ethan. This is the nosho. Hey, what's up, Alton? Hello. He's a real nowhere man, sitting in his nowhere land, making all his nowhere plans for nobody. He's as blind as he can be, just sees what he wants to see. Nowhere man, can you see me at all? Nowhere man, please listen. You don't know what you're missing. Nowhere man, the word is at your command. Nowhere man. All right. I am not in a mood to sing tonight, but I committed. My idea was that every show will begin with a song. So I don't know. My feeling is like, what the hell? Even if I'm not feeling it, that's how the show is going to go. Every show begins with a song. Hello, everybody. I'm Ethan. This is the No Show. It's every night at 9 p.m. It's on YouTube. It's now also on Instagram Live. Oh, the live stream is tough to find. Okay, Neurogeezer, thank you for that feedback. I know that I'm not a master of the medium. I'm not a master of YouTube. I don't have great command of the technology. What do I have? I have the will. I have the will to communicate. Um, hey Mobius. Hey Dave. How you doing? Hello Los Angeles. Hello Judy. Hello Chris, if you're still there. Hello Dawn. Hello everybody. Um, I'm rotating through my message shirts. I'm back to si no es tu mamá, no es tu leche. If it's not your mom, it's not your milk. Okay, there is a way you can park a live stream before the actual start. More viewers. That's a great idea. Neurogeezer, thank you for that. I know exactly what you're talking about for people who are fans. I know that from one or two shows that I like to watch. Sometimes I'll see they'll say starting in a few minutes or whatever. I got to figure out how to do that. Thank you very much for that suggestion. I will do that. I will attempt to do that. Love is all you need. Love is all you need. Loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, Mobius seconds that idea. I appreciate it. All right, two things I wanted to discuss. I watched Zone of Interest just now. Oh my God, that is a wild. It's really chilling and it's really powerful and it's done with such art and skill. Oh my God. Um, Zone of Interest. I'll say no more about it, because one of the joys for me with seeing a movie or any bit of theater, it's just great going into it knowing nothing about it, and then it can all hit you much harder. So this for sure applies to zone of interest. Um, Dawn suggests, after you subscribe, click on my name. Yeah, like and subscribe. Yeah, so that's a suggestion for Mobius and NeuroGeezer. I know this isn't the solution completely. Your idea of parking it there and then announcing to all the subscribers that it's going to start, that's a solid idea. I'm going to try to do that. But in the meantime, subscribing and clicking on my name, it should pop up, I believe. Um, Judith, thanks for asking. Okay, what's it about? So yeah, zone of interest. Yeah, I won't say anything in detail about what it's about, but what it's about thematically, I would say is um, it's about the human capacity for self-delusion and the human capacity for evil, evil and self-delusion. I'd say those are two of the big themes. It's really powerful. Um, so NeuroGeezer says, I am subscribed and I was clicking on your name. It did show up once the stream started. Right, there you go. Yeah. Um, okay. So I'm going to try to figure out that thing where you can park there before the show starts and announce. Is it a thriller? It's not a thriller. No, it's not a thriller. Um, Jeff Houlihan, the banality of evil. I don't think so. Maybe in some sense. I did hear someone talking about, who was it who was writing about it? It might have been Masha Gessen who was writing about the way Hannah Arendt, her writings are misremembered or misinterpreted, and this notion that's attributed to her of the banality of evil is somehow not really um, what it all boils down to. I don't know enough about it. Um, yeah, so Warren, is it a MAGA movie? Yeah, unfortunately, it is. It's a movie that speaks to evil and human cruelty through the ages, I would say. So yes, and that is one of the things that's really uh, disturbing and powerful about the movie, because it's impossible to watch it and not analogize to what could be coming down the pike in our country and in lots of places when people subscribe to some sort of project, or they have their ideas about serving a bigger purpose, and it's in the context of imagining that you're serving a bigger purpose that most of the horrible things that people do are committed, I would say. The personal horrible things that we do, the personal cruelties or the personal slights or shortcomings, I don't think necessarily uh, develop through that fantasy that you're doing something more important. That's just sort of petty, quotidian uh, human failures. But when it comes to cruelty and inhumane behavior and inhumane beliefs, um, it seems like those always go hand in glove with some twisted political movement or some religious movement or some cult or a philosophy that just gives you license to mistreat other people. Um, Anyway, that was that. Okay, here, speaking of personal failures, today I did what I like to do on a Saturday, which is I took the dogs down to Brighton Beach. So we drove down there. My plan is to go for a nice chilly swim, which is a real pick me up. And when I got down there, first of all, I had heard that the highway was closed. A stretch of it was closed. But it turned out it was closed the other way, so I was fine heading down there. But when I got there, the wind was really severe. I kind of heard that this was going to be happening. There was like 30-mile-an-hour winds. So it was kind of like a sandstorm on the beach. So we couldn't stay very long. I was throwing the ball to the dog. I decided I couldn't swim. I could have kind of gone in and gotten tumbled around a little bit by the waves and had the benefits that I get from the cold water. But I had the little dog with me also, and she wasn't liking it. If you're in a sort of sandstorm condition and you happen to be a Chihuahua, if you're planning on going to a sandstorm and also planning on being transformed into any breed of dog of your choice, I would say don't choose the smallest, closest to the ground breed. If your head and your eyes are right near the ground, I think that's the worst spot to be in a sandstormy condition. So the sand was blowing. The little dog wasn't happy. The big dog was happy fetching. And there was another dog on the beach, a German Shepherd. And the German Shepherd's woman was throwing a ball and he was getting in the surf. And it was kind of nice. They seemed to be having fun. But I decided to leave pretty soon after we got there. And what happened was I thought I had left the stove on. Leaving the stove on is, it almost seems like it's not a real thing. It's just an excuse in movies. I think I saw Elliot Gould in some romantic comedy in the 70s use that as an excuse to try to get a woman back to his apartment. I think that I'm remembering that correctly. And then just the other day in an episode of of Elsbeth on CBS, Linda Lavin, who's the guest star, she thinks she's left the stove on, so she goes back. It doesn't seem like something that happens in real life, but it happened to me today. I got all these vegetables yesterday. I put them in a pot. I was cooking them this morning in a cast iron pot. And then I thought, oh, I'm going to turn it up nice and high and get it real hot so that when I go to the beach and turn it off, it'll stay hot and it'll cook on its own. And then when I was down at the beach, I thought, holy smokes, I turned the thing all the way up and I never turned it. I don't remember turning it off. So there I was an hour away thinking I was gonna burn. Yeah, I thought, oh Jesus, did I? And then I pictured, smoke and who knows what. So there were some guys working on the fire escape. They were working on the roof. And so I called them and said, can you check? They couldn't get in. They didn't see anything going wrong. So I made it back. And it turns out I had turned off the stove. So that was weird. That was a failure of short-term memory, a failure of attention. It was a little weird. That's what happened. Then I got home, ate it. It was too spicy. I made it too spicy. Yeah, you got to focus. You got to do things with, what do they call that? Mindfulness. Yes, it's an ADD thing. The opposite of mindfulness. You do it mindfully. When you turn off the stove, you think, I'm turning off the stove. You do it slowly, you do it mindfully. You don't do it in a scattered way where you're thinking about the dogs and what am I bringing and where. Anyway. All right. What face did you make when you realized it was on? Yeah, it was probably That's a good question. If you're alone and you have a realization of something horrible like that, do you make a face, or is the face for other people? I think it was an internal face. It was an internal face. Speaking of internal, I have internal tattoos. A lot of people have their tattoos on the outside. I like to keep it secret. So my tattoos, I have a few organ tattoos. It says mom on my liver. Oh, Alton, that's a really good idea. When doing important things like locking a door to leave, I make a silly song about it. I remember the song. I like that. I'm a locking my door. Guess that is new. Where the kisses are hers and his. I'm a locking my door. All right. What does your shirt say? Oh, add yogurt if it's spicy. Oh, that's a really good idea. Add yogurt. If your shirt's too spicy, put yogurt on it. I think that's what Karen's saying. No, she's saying if your soup's too spicy. No, but I'm a vegan. You can't put yogurt in your soup. But you can make rice and just turn your soup into a ricey stew. Okay. Okay, it says, si no es tu mamá, no es tu leche. If it's not your mama, it's not your milk. If it's not your mama, it's not your milk. It's a little vegan koan. It's a little vegan koan. You'll see the. Okay. Heart is usually mom. Dad is usually liver. Yeah, that's true. So yeah, the internal tattoos. I guess you should have mom on your heart and dad on your liver, and then your doctor's name and phone number on your pancreas. Get that tattooed on there. Internaltattoos.com. I could see that taking off, especially in Williamsburg, in my neighborhood. The internal tattoo. It's considered like it's really intense. It's dark. Okay, Diva. Hello, Judith in San Antonio asks, do you think Three's Company will ever get a reboot? I hope so, but how could you? I mean, John Ritter was a genius. John Ritter was the genius. He was like the Buster Keaton, Charlie Chaplin of the 1970s, all rolled into one. National treasure. And the women on the show were great. And Don Knotts. That was one of those things where it was bizarre. I loved that show as a kid. I really loved that deeply. It had a few elements that were very confusing about um, human sexuality that it shared with Gilligan's Island, which I didn't really love as much. But both of those shows had a central character, a protagonist, if you will, who was the object of salacious and concupiscent interest from a female character, and he just wasn't interested. So Gilligan had it from a very, very sexy woman stuck on the island with him. I guess John Ritter also had a similar. He had it from the landlady, but he also had it from. I guess he had his reason. He was pretending to be gay. I don't know. It was weird. I guess that the sitcom, they can't have sex on a sitcom, so they have to write in this idea that they have to come up with some reason why the man doesn't want it. But that was challenging to watch, I think, as a kid, because you think, well, what are you waiting for? Come on, man. How did you end up making the move to veganism? Well, yeah, it was just a little. It was sort of a stepwise thing. I eliminated certain things, and then I eventually eliminated all of the things. The only challenge was pizza at the end there. That took a while. Wait, John Ritter was in Sling Blade? I did not know that. Wait, who took credit cards? My mom always charged me. She took credit cards. That's funny. Heavy metal on the uke. Thank you, Donald, for the idea. I don't think I can, but I could work it up maybe. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't have a song in my heart tonight. But maybe Fafner peed on my ukulele songbook. It was a little bit damp today. You know, she has not this guy. This guy's fine. He's young. But Fafner has an aging bladder, and occasionally she lets a little leak. So the ukulele book has been baptized in Chihuahua piss, but just the edge. So it's already dry. Well, it's drying out. So maybe I've said too much, but you know, I'm here to share. I'm here to share the full range of human experience, which includes the misfortunes. Let me do a little. I'm going to see if I can shake off the spiritual cobwebs. Leslie, I think you said something about Chihuahua piss. No, that's when it's stubby. No, you didn't. I was imagining that. When meat smells like an animal, you know, that's when it's time to stop. All right. No, nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Nobody knows but Jesus. Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Glory, hallelujah. Sometimes I'm up, sometimes I'm down. Oh, yes, Lord. Sometimes I'm almost to the ground. Oh, yes, Lord. Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Nobody knows but Jesus. Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Glory, hallelujah. Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Glory, hallelujah. It sounds to me like hallelujah is sort of a cry of celebration. It's praise of the Lord, but it's also celebratory. So this person is celebrating that nobody knows the trouble he's seen. That seems a little counterintuitive. Unless the hallelujah is foreshadowing what comes later in the verse that Jesus has seen and Jesus understands. So the hallelujah is in advance for Jesus. I'll buy that. Oh, give me a home where the buffalo roam and the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies aren't cloudy all day. This is not going to be the key that this is in, I guarantee you. Oh, give me a home where the buffalo roam, and the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day. Home, home on the range, where the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day. That, I gotta say, there's a weirdness in that song, which is, it's again one of these things where it's driven by the rhyme, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the clouds, the skies aren't cloudy all day. That's not English. The skies aren't cloudy all day. The skies aren't cloudy all day. Instead, I think in English we would say, the skies are clear. um, the skies are never cloudy. That would be another way to say it. What I'm saying is, I don't trust this cowboy. Oh, look at this. The words are by Dr. Brewster Higley. So he's a doctor. I gotta defer to the doctor. Music by Dan Kelly. Um, hello, hello, Chris. If you're still there, nice to see your name pop up. Hey, Lise, how are you? Leslie, I don't know what you mean by that, but I'll take it as a compliment. I'll take it as a compliment, even though it was not intended as such. Cowboy talk, yeah. Um, I think there's some good tunes. Oh, Buster Scruggs, that was good. Yeah, that was those guys, the Coen brothers, just playing around with that tradition of the singing cowboy. That was brilliant. I loved that, Buster Scruggs. That was a great movie. Yes, by the way, someone asked, did I get your, yeah, I've gotten all your song suggestions. Please keep them coming, and I'm going to get to them. I missed one earlier. Did it bother you, David asked, did it bother you that the Howells maintain their plutocratic status amidst all the desperation? It did, going back to the island. But you got to respect them. They knew what they wanted, they knew how they wanted to live, and they weren't going to let the circumstances of daily life get in their way. Um, it made a big impression, that show. Can I play Deliverance? Oh, what is that? Oh, the dueling banjos, the dueling ukuleles. Nessun dorma. Oh, Nessun dorma. Let's see if that's out. Let's see if that's there on the. Oh, that's all right, Leslie. I believe you. I want to check out the Nessun dorma if we have the chords. If it's easy, I'll give it a crack. Just without a. Nobody's sleeping. That's the. Oh, E flat minor. I don't know what to do with that. That's. Let me see if I transpose it, if I can get a little bit more friendly. If I can't get friendly chords this way, I'm going to take a little time and prepare it. It's a great idea. Nessun dorma. Tu pure, principessa, nella tua fredda stanza, guardi le stelle. No, I'm going to have to take a little time to prepare that. That's a great idea. Nessun Dorma on the ukulele. Thank you, Neurogeezer. Coming up later this week. Yes, Neurogeezer. Obviously, it's a tenor aria, and a lot of those ones are just comfortable for a low bass like me to just sing straight down the octave. So it doesn't really require a transposition. The story in there, Turandot, the story in that opera is there's this mean princess, and she has these riddles, and if you come to her, try to answer the riddles. If you get it wrong, that's curtains for you. So the stakes are high. All right, tonight, listen, tonight you belong to me. Tut tut tootsie, goodbye. Tut tut tootsie. Oh boy. Why are you discussing Chihuahua piss? That's just whatever comes up on the show comes up. There's no censor. There's no network. There's no monitor. It's just it's complete freedom, which can be a dangerous thing. They did that in the Holy Grail. Oh, Nessun Dorma on a ukulele. What did they do on the the bucket? Tonight. Oh, that song, I Can Feel It in the Air Tonight. That's actually, interestingly, probably the most overplayed song, maybe, in my opinion. That one, that is a hard song for me to take, even though it's obviously a great song, but oh my God, that thing. Heard it too many times in my life. One of the great interviews I've ever heard, though, I will say, Phil Collins was interviewed by, I'm not sure who the journalist was, and it might have been on This American Life, that podcast, that radio show. The person who produced that episode was bereft of her boyfriend. She had recently gone through a really tough breakup, and she wanted to write a breakup song. She wanted to write a sad song, and she got in touch with Phil Collins, and she interviewed him about what's the Phil Collins song that was it was a James Bond theme song. In any case, he walks her through. He coaches her through writing a sad song, writing a breakup song. How can I just let you walk away when all I can see is... Yes, that's definitely a different Phil Collins song. That's You're the only one who really knew me at all. Take a Look at Me Now. Is that what it's called? That's a cool song. Anyway, if you can find that episode, it's just a beautiful episode of Phil Collins. And he comes across, as much as I was never a fan of his voice, he's obviously a great musician, and a really influential pop artist. But after hearing that interview, I loved the guy. It's an interesting example maybe of an artist where you might not respond to their work very strongly, but then if you get to know them a little bit, they can be kind of inspiring. And conversely, there are people who you might not like at all and you like their art. Getting to know you, that's a good one. All right, listen, thank you for joining me on the show tonight. I'm here every night, always. Every night at 9, always. Wah, 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 wah. Yeah, wah, 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 always, always. Wah, 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 always. That's the outro music, a cappella. Irving Berlin. The song is Always. I'm here always, every night at 9. Thank you for joining me. And please, if you want to pop over after the show, this was the No Show. And then I'll be over there on Instagram Live for a minute for a little more show. The Mo Show. The Rivers of Nihil. Nihil, that's like nothing. Nihil, or is that never? All right, thanks, everybody.